going on, everybody? Welcome back to today's video. I'm gonna try to keep it short since we all know I could yap. I'm certified. Today we're gonna be going over everything that is wrong with my new BMW, and I'm gonna explain why I decided to buy it, because we all know I don't need another car. Before we get into specifics, I guess just an overview. 2008 BMW 328i and whatever this color is called. But let's start in the front. I guess we could start with the headlights. Obviously foggy, but also I believe they're mix matched. I'm not too sure if that's just like the overall headlight or if just the lights are mix matched, but that one is orange, that one is more like of an HID type of color. Next, I guess it's a little bit of a smaller thing, but this thing is not the correct color. Going under, we are missing the driver's side fog light along with the fender liner, but this actually fell off when I went on the first test drive. It just kind of blew off on the freeway. I don't exactly know why, but I already got the replacement. I'll work on this soon. Moving on to the passenger side, next thing that is wrong with the car is this one is the original color. The car was actually resprayed to whatever this goldish bronzish color is. I like this a lot better than the original color, but obviously there's a problem here. I will decide what I want to do with this later on. This probably isn't considered a problem to most people, but to me, I feel like the car is too low. It is a little bit uncomfortable to drive, so I will need to raise it up a little bit, but it is on ST suspension or coilovers, so I guess that's a pro. And the other little issue is this fender liner isn't installed properly, so it's just kind of sagging. I shall work on that whenever I fix the other side. Moving over to the side, I guess we can talk about the tint. Tint is coming off everywhere, so I'm trying to decide if I want to take it off all over the car and just rock the fishbowl or just leave it on. I don't know, I'll decide, but for now it's like that. Next is this tire. This one is mixed match from the other side. This one is a 225 40 18, and the other side I believe it's a 245 or a 255. Now I do have the proper tire in the trunk, so I will need to replace that. Moving on to the rear, we can talk about the tail lights. The tail light is cracked on this one and this one, and I believe it's like shattered right here. Normally I wouldn't complain about this, but when I paid for the car, it had other tail lights, and I don't remember if they were damaged or not, but it just feels kind of weird that they were replaced and these are cracked. I guess I'll just have to deal with it for now. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with that. Tail lights are cracked. On the rear, emblems are missing. This one is all discolored, which I will probably replace, or I'll just go ahead and try to erase this as much as possible. On the driver's side, there isn't really much wrong with the car. Again, I'll just need to raise it up a little bit since it's a bit uncomfortable to drive. That's about it for the exterior. Moving on to the interior. This is what the interior looks like. I guess a con is I'm not really a big fan of the brown with this color on the exterior. I do like the brown. I just feel like it would look a lot better on like a black car or like a white car, or this color would look so sick with like a red interior. That's just how this car was spec'd out. Interior, it's not the best, but it's also not completely terrible. You could probably clean this up a little bit and it would probably look decent. This is just meant to be a daily driver, so it doesn't have to be anything crazy. As you can see, I got the parts to fix or replace the fender liners, but other than that, I think the interior looks pretty nice. The other thing that I guess some people consider a con is that it has a dual hump. It just looks outdated. I don't really mind it. I don't care for it. That's just how the car came. The final cons with the car is it is a salvage title, which it does suck, but it's not the end of the world. Also, the fender isn't a different color or the original color than the rest of the car because of the salvage title. The car was painted completely. It's just because of how low it is, it broke the other fender, so it got replaced. The other, I guess the biggest red flag is that because this car is a manual, it needed a clutch replacement. Also, gear number 1 tends to pop out, which makes it a little bit uncomfortable to drive whenever it is good. Now, you guys are probably thinking, why am I driving it if it needs a clutch? I already replaced the clutch at the time of filming this video. I wanted to do that ahead of time so that I could film all these other videos a little bit more consecutively and be able to move the car around and stuff. I don't like to drive this car because of gear number 1, so now I'm starting to think, what can I do to fix that? I have some ideas. There are some things that I could do that could probably help that, but I might need to replace the transmission on this car, which brings me to the reason why I bought this car. I've been wanting to buy something that I could fix and flip it and possibly make a profit on it. Now, I don't think this is the right car to be doing that. I took this opportunity because this was my cousin's car. He just had it sitting there, and I remember the price that he bought it at. I thought I could get into it pretty cheap and fix it and then possibly make a profit on it. But this car has a lot of things against it, but I still decided to do it just to kind of help him out, and I get to get the experience of replacing a clutch because I've never done that before. But now with the transmission possibly missing first gear, it makes it a little bit more of a challenge to where I can't really make that much money off of this car. I'm still excited to own this car because I like the E92 chassis. I've always thought it was a very good looking car, even though this isn't the 335 or the M3. I just like the look of this car, and if I get to drive it around for a little bit and enjoy it, sell it, get it out of my life, I thought it was a win. The first video I made basically showing this car as a potential new car on the channel. I wanted to see what kind of interaction it would get, and it did pretty good. For the size of my channel, I think the video did pretty well. I started noticing that BMW content does pretty good on YouTube, and I kind of just felt like this would be a cool little opportunity or to make a short series on a BMW that I fixed and put it back on the road. That is why I decided to buy this car. Before the video finishes, a little bit of a cold start so you guys could hear it. It actually sounds pretty cool. Other than that, this is the car on the channel. Like I said, I don't think it was the best buy. I more so did it just like as a whatever, you know. I bought the car at a decent price, not decent enough to make a profit on it, but decent enough to where I could get this car and just sell it and not really worry about the money in the end. As long as I get to enjoy the car for a little bit, get it out my system of owning an E92 chassis, I'll be happy, and hopefully the videos do good on YouTube. That is it for today's video. I hope it interested you a little bit into possibly subscribing so that you can see everything that I do with this car and to see if we can make a profit in the end. That would be pretty sweet. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless. Chale ganitas.